Bless you guys out there. Welcome to T. Michael's House of Faith. My goal is to build a foundation of trust in the Lord Jesus, help each other fight the conscience mind, and taking on other burdens by being supportive and comforting in one another. The Lord is our author, not us. T. Michael's House of Faith does not lend, finance, endorse, or refund. We are non-professional. This is for education and not therapy. T. Michael's House of Faith is a self-supporting and will ask for a couple of dollars to keep this channel alive, and for our first works, and for a monopoly pot to give back to those who are supporting this channel. God bless you guys. And of course, this right now, I just got a PayPal and a Zelle, and you'd have to get the name, make sure the name's spelled right, and stuff like that. I know it's Christmas time, it's not a big deal right now. I'll probably have more things set up come next year. And getting into some finance here, you're going to want to hear this. This is great. I'm going to go into a couple of videos here. This is what's about to happen here in America. You're going to want to listen to this. It's very, very important because you're about to lose a bunch of money if you don't follow along what's going on here, especially if you got gold stuff in like a gold IRA or any kind of investment in gold. Gold's gonna collapse. Let's see if I can get these videos rolling, and we're gonna do a few minutes. I think the first video is about 5 minutes or so. Yeah, about 6 minutes, and the second video is about 3.5 minutes. So let's get rolling here. We want to go to 2 minutes. Skip forward here. Probably taking longer to get that going.
Of the Amero, the North American Currency Union, that had got together. That's what that represented. The North American Currency Union, the Amero, came up with an idea of a new currency. It was proposed by a Canadian economist named Herbert G. Grubel in 1999, a senior fellow at the Fraser Institute think tank, and he published a book called The Case for the Amero in September 1999. Now, the idea of the professor was for there to be one currency for the North American area. In other words, one currency that would be used in Mexico, the United States, and Canada. And he even came up with the prototype design. Now, some people thought that that currency had been printed. It had not. He also minted some coins that were minted and designed by Daniel Carr, and some thought it was a real currency that already existed. It was not. It was simply coins. But several years after this book came out, Lou Dobbs began to talk about the idea of a North American Union that he believed would one day be implemented. So there were different types of prototype bills for the Amero and for different ideas that artists came up with, and some of those are out on the internet. But this one is extremely, extremely interesting. So here's what I did. When I received these, I didn't receive the actual bills. I received photos. You're going to see these on paper. You're going to see them in detail in just a moment. And I had several people, including a former U.S. congressman, to look at these. And I had some people that were bankers, very high bankers, and also investors. Now, they could not confirm the actual production or printing of these bills had taken place, but they said that they are extremely interesting, and most of them said to me they believed it was a prototype that had been designed. Not that it had been printed, but it had been designed for what would be called the North American republics. Now, there are some interesting features on these bills. First of all, there's a blue flag with 3 stars. One star represents America, the other Canada, and the other Mexico. There are 3 stars behind the picture. There are no U.S. presidents. The pictures that are on these bills are entrepreneurs and business people or great bankers that started banks a long, long time ago, some of our original U.S. bankers. So they are more business people, famous business people from yesteryear that are printed on these particular bills. It's printed in English. It is also printed in French because of Canadians speaking French. It is also printed in Spanish on all the bills. So you have three languages. Of course, the Americans can tell what it is by the number, but you have the French and the Spanish language on the bills. There is no God and trust on the currency. But what is also interesting, there appears a barcode printed on the currency and three emblems that represent Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. So what is interesting about the barcode is someone who had worked with Homeland Security said that you can take currency and you can actually, with the proper machines, if it has a barcode on it, when someone passes through the airport, whether it's in their wallet or it's in their purse or they're smuggling it in, it will actually show the barcode how many. For example, if you have a barcode on the $50 bill and you have 10 $50 bills, it will show you there's 10 $50 bills in the person's pocket. So the barcode is probably for transitioning across borders or tracking the carrying of the money, and can also be for other purposes in the buying or selling process. I also noticed, after looking over all of these bills, the capstone on the $1 bill has the pyramid complete. Now, on the $1 bill now, it's missing, meaning it's incomplete. It's an incomplete project. It also says a New World Order in Latin on the $10 bill, and it has the eagle with a key in its mouth on the $10 bill. This is what's printed on it that was fascinating to me. This note is legal tender by the Union of the North American Republic, established and authorized by the Free Trade and Recovery Act of the Central Bank, approved by the U.S. Federal Reserve, Bank of Mexico, and Bank of Canada, and also the Bank of Mexico. So this was actually printed under the Obama administration, and there was a belief that there was going to be open borders. Remember, there was a lot of talk about there being open borders. Now, the idea of having this currency is as follows, because everything is based in Canada, America, and Mexico on U.S. dollars. But the United States has been printing for quite some time money that brings the valuation of the dollar down. And the way we're printing trillions of dollars now, the dollar will be worth much of nothing in the next couple of years if we continue to do what we're doing. So therefore, you have to somehow bring the dollar value down. Then by bringing the dollar value down, we say, no, wait a minute. If we have a currency equal to Canada, America, and Mexico, then it may stop everybody from coming over the border because the currency will be the same level. The reason people come from Mexico to America is they work for dollars and send the dollars back into the banks of Mexico, and they have much more money by using the dollar than they do using the peso. And so I believe, and it's really interesting, John Kerry made a statement about the North American Republic about 2 years ago, and my ears perked up. I said, did he really say what I thought he said? And I had never heard it talked about publicly by a government person, and it may have been 4 years ago, but several years ago, he made the statement about the North American Republic. So the idea is to have borderless, no borders. You have a passport to cross the border. That's it. So it's a passport for the North American Republic, just like the EU, just like the African Union. North America will have one. Then you'll exchange the dollars. You'll bring your dollars in, exchange it for the new currency, and then the new currency will be used in all three places. But eventually, we will go cashless. Now, I believe.
All right. So now you get that. We'll go to the next video here. And what they're going to do is, Ronald Reagan did this back in the 80s. It's the Reaganomics. And I'll get more into that, how they're going to totally just drop gold. So if you got stuff in IRA and stuff like that, you might want to get it out. We'll go to the next video, which is only a couple minutes long here. And see if I got stuff set up here or not. 850. Close enough. All right, here we go.
As we call it a hedge, an economic hedge against what is going to happen. Now, the question that a lot of people have, because they know I deal with prophecy and the time of the end and things as they are occurring, how they relate to where it's going in the future, people have asked me, is there going to be what's called a fiat currency collapse? Now, fiat currency is paper money, and every nation has its own paper money. You have the yen, you have the dollar, you have the shekel in Israel, and paper money is used around the world. Now that's about to change because the nations of the world are going to cryptocurrency, or more so to what's called digital wallets and apps on the phone, where you don't have to have fiat currency at all, but it goes directly into an account and is taken directly out of your bank. It's really a series of numbers. In fact, that's what the computer code is anyways, it is ones and zeros. So we know it's going to eventually come to that. Now, here's the point that I want to make. There is not enough gold, and neither is there enough silver in circulation for there to be some kind of a fiat currency collapse and everyone go to gold and silver. First of all, people could not afford the prices of gold and silver. So to say that there's going to be this fiat collapse and everybody's going to go to gold and silver, that is absolutely incorrect. It can't happen because the banks only have a certain amount. The nations and world leaders have only certain amounts. Individuals only have certain amounts of the precious metals, and there's not enough to go around. There really is not enough to go around. It's amazing if you look at the statistics on this. So the next question that we're asked is, okay, fiat currency will continue to exist for a period of time until the digital wallets and the apps and they're already here, by the way, till it transitions into that. We understand that. So will the prices continue to go up? Now, there are people,
here.
matter in the tribulation will be food and water, of which there will be a great, tremendous shortage of. But I would say three things to you. Number one, your faith is very significant, because if you have faith, then you can pray yourself through anything that you go through. Secondly, I would say that your family and taking care of your family and being a very close-knit family and everybody uniting together in their faith and in their walk with God is going to be very significant. Number three is not to allow yourself to hear all the news that's coming in, the negative news, and even the signs of the earthquakes and tsunamis and famines, and let your heart be so overwhelmed that you become one of those victims that Jesus talked about, of men's hearts failing them for fear of looking after those things which are coming to pass on the earth. So I would suggest to people to release yourself as much as possible from cares of life. And if there's things that you can sell now, and a lot of people wait till they die and then the family has an estate sale. Well, you can actually have your sale early. And I know there's tax issues that relate to that and so on, but do your research and do your study. And I know that Pam and I have discussed of things that we have, very nice things. We've enjoyed them, but it's time to sell them. So we're selling a lot of things. I'm selling sports cards I've had for years, things of that nature, because as we mature in age and we mature in time, we can use those things in a better way than just having something sit around the house. And I felt like I wanted to encourage you and share that information with you. And
Okay, that's all we need to hear there. And it's very important about that faith, what he is talking about. In the first video here that I showed you, that was 4 years ago that this one went. Get rid of that here. I got to set that up for the next one. And that was 4 years ago. And I'll go through this, what happened back in the 80s with Reagan here. Trump will drop the value of gold like Ronald Reagan did in the 80s with his anti-inflammatory policies. Reaganomics is what it was called. An aggressive interest rate hikes and by the federal chair, Paul Volcker, which strengthened the dollar and reduced gold's appeal. Reaganomics, tax cuts, reduced government spending, deregulation shift and investors' focus from gold to other assets, making stocks more attractive. And you're hearing about the new cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and all that good stuff. And this is where, if you get your money out of gold right now, and I'll show you here, and I'll have to shut down a few things and switch back over, and I'll show you. I can actually put your money in it. It's like a savings account. It's a lot better in a savings account right now. But continue on here. Stronger dollar. The strengthening U.S. dollar, in which that'll be changed to the British pound that you seen earlier, also made gold more expensive for foreign buyers, further pressuring prices. Investor sentiment. Reagan's confidence in controlling inflation, even expressing a desire for lower gold prices, and influenced markets through geopolitical events. And then Trump's going to take birthright away from Americans. He will no longer be your president, and America will collapse and not only start civil war, but allow America to be invaded by all other countries, with Iran, Russia, and China to lead. So you'll have like all the European armies led by the Russian army, all the Asian armies led by China, and all the Islamic armies led by Iran. And I think there's going to be with Islamic, there's going to be some flusters with uh, the Arabs. I think they're going to get upset about that, and they're going to cause issues against each other. But anyways, and then Harry will make his stand and become the emperor of the world, as the British and Canadians have already anarchied through the American streets, demanding there will be no kings. And why can't there be kings? Because Harry lies to everybody, deceiving everybody, thinking he's a prince when he's not a prince, therefore he cannot be a king, but he's going to step it up one and become emperor over all kings. Very interesting. Just like in the time of Jesus, they had three languages: Greek, Latin, and Hebrew. Now, our time, we're going to have the three languages: French, English, and Spanish. This is what happened. This is how you play your game here. Now, going into 2026, you can just totally play the stocks and bank and make tons of money. But it's going to go into 27, probably about halfway through 27, I think. Even if maybe before that, everything's just going to crash. You ain't going to have any money. Stocks are going to be gone. Cryptocurrency is going to wind up being gone. So make as much money you can here right now. Spend it like you can, like tomorrow's your last day. And this is what happened back in the 80s. As gold dropped, the stocks increased. 1980, gold was $850 an ounce. 1985, gold was $284 an ounce to $340 an ounce. That's more than half. And the stock markets like SP 500 increased 27%. Dow Jones increased by 29%. That all started from May to September, and in September is when the stocks really rose, all the way from September to December. And even going into 1986, the stocks continued to gain, but they were only fluctuating maybe 15%. They kind of lost value a little bit, but they're still making it's going up and down like normal again. And as gold saw a modest increase then, and in 1987, the stocks crashed. And I'm sure a lot of people growing up a little bit before my time, I grew up in the 80s, but I wasn't into any of this stuff back then. I care less as a kid. But a lot of people might remember that. Like BTC and others like Ethereum, XRP, Nevada, will sharply increase in 2026. But for how long? I believe probably about 3 months. So when gold crashes, that's when you're going to want to put your money into the stocks, and then you can just ride and play the stocks out. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, when it starts, when it doesn't. My guess will probably be they might collapse gold January 6th. And I'm just saying that because that's when they attacked the White House was January 6th. I could be totally off on that. We'll see. We'll find out. And nobody knows when it's going to stop neither. I mean, they might, but I have no clue. I'm just going off the past because the history repeats itself, and we just seen Bitcoin crash in October. So I guarantee you'd want your money out before October, probably in July at least, just to be safe. And That's something you can ride, you can play, because they're estimating Bitcoin to reach 250,000. And right now, just last check is down to 85. They expect it to drop more this month, down to 70,000. That's Bitcoin, anyways. So that's something you can play and look into. And I'm not sure what he's talking about the pyramid, but if you look here on your dollar bill, you know how it shines. It's not actually connected. And now he's saying on the new bills it's going to be connected. I haven't looked into that or figured out the significance of what he's talking about there. Maybe that's the final piece that the whole emperor thing. I don't know. I have to look more into that. That's something you're going to want to watch into. And here's something I'll show you that we're not in the end of days like people talk about. We're in the time of when Michael comes down, because Jesus already made his stand. But if you look, this is Satan's name. That was back in the Bible. They actually hid it in your Bible. It'll say AH, and then its name ASUERUS. And they just put a AH in front of it, throw you off. That way you wouldn't know it. That was his name, and that equaled 666. But you can see it right on the chart. And I got that out of the Latin Bible, which is right in here. If you look up in here, you can find it in here. And that's where I got that name from. Now, I'll show you what you can do. I'm going to have to crash a couple of things here. I'll start with this. Come on, get out of the way. And I'll show you over here. I just got to get a code off my phone to hook this up over here on my other computer so I can log in. I'll get some of that stuff. No, get lost. Just changed. Okay. Now let's see if I can find it here. I'll just leave that there for right now. Go back here, see if I can set this back up. And pause out of here just for a second. What the heck this is? Get out of my way. Stupid little pop-ups. All right, where am I at? Where am I? Back on so we don't get an echo. Now let's go back. And that's not going to pull up very good, is it? There we go. We'll blow it up like that. All right, that'll work. And then I gotta, let's see. I'll back out of here real quick so I can try to set this up. Oh, shoot. Oh, that'll work. Oh, wait, I don't need that. Come back, come back. No, 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 no. Okay, hang on. What the heck? Ain't going too swell here, but hang on, we'll get this. Okay. We'll just do it like that. Why is that there? I don't want that there. Let's crash all these. This is a second ago.
Liberty Mutual customizes.
Wait.
I just want to get this set up real quick. I'll deal with that later. I'm getting into this here. If you get yourself some crypto, this is Kraken. That's Kraken, which I kind of like it. It's not bad. I have other ones like Robinhood and stuff like that. But if you go to, if you can hook up your bank. I want to see if I can show some stuff here. See, now you can hook things up. This is a US dollar, and you hook your bank up to this. And this would be like your savings account. And I have a checking account, the Chase, So this is my savings. I'll just take the money out of here and put it in my checking account, and then I can just spend money like normal. And you can use the US dollar. What I got is the USDG. I put it in there. It has a pretty good interest rate on it. And it's a stable coin, so you don't have to worry about losing any money or anything like that. You can get up to like 5% APR. It's pretty nice. And they got other ones like this USDT here. And you can see it fluctuates just a little bit between 0.99996 to 0.99999 or $1. So it doesn't drop or go up much or down at all. And you got USDC, USD1, they're all stable coins. You put it in stable coin, and that's where you can gain interest at. And let me go back to the house here. And then from there, and when the gold crashes, and you keep your eye on when gold crashes, then you can put it in the stock, and you pick whatever stock you want. You can look up, see what people think are hot. From what I'm hearing, Ethereum will probably do better than Bitcoin and stuff like XRP. They plan on doing better just because it's like a cheaper thing that people are into, so they think it's going to do a lot better because of the cost that people are charging. You got Bitcoin Cash they put in. I think it's kind of a little bit better than Bitcoin itself, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, that's a huge loss, $1,710 negative. That's what happens when you worry about the money. You lose it all. 1,700 right up here. That's all lost within the last 3 months. Or 6 months. Where's my stuff? Let's go back. You school dinosaur. That's 1 month, 3 months. Yeah, see, I have 1,344 in losses. That's what happens when you don't put the trust in the Lord. But there's different stuff that you put in that's gonna skyrocket. And all these will skyrocket in 2026. So that's all I really want to show you. I get you noticing that what's coming and how it's gonna just like in the 80s. If people remember what happened in 85 with Reagan, same thing, just like it's gonna happen, but it's gonna be a little bit worse. And I'm saying in after 2026, come 2027, we're gonna watch stuff. Probably stock will crash sometime in that year. Our money's gonna be absolutely worthless. You probably heard about the time that you just take money and you throw it in the streets because it ain't worth nothing anymore. It'd probably take you $1,000 bills to buy like one stamp. So it's going to be pretty worthless. So that's something you might want to prepare for is get yourself a garden, buy some property if you got some extra money, make some money off Bitcoin, buy an acre of land so you can grow some food on it and not have to worry about, stuff. This stuff ain't out to scare you. It's help you see what's coming so you can get a jump on it and not freak out about it because now you're ahead of the ball game. Now you can profit off this and you can make good decisions by what I'm giving you here. And I hope you guys can learn something out of this. I hope it helps you out. And I'm going to switch over here. Thank you for tuning in to T. Michael's House of Faith. I'm going to cut out with one of the greatest rock and roll stars out there. This is one of the songs I really love. I used to listen to this before I went hunting and getting out there in the field.
Am I in one of those Liberty Mutual commercials
here,
where they stand in front of the Statue of Liberty and talk?
God bless you guys.
There I was, back in the wild again, and I felt right at home where I belong. I had that feeling coming over me again, just like it happened so many times before. Yeah. The spirit of the woods is like an old good friend. Makes me feel warm and good inside. And I knew his name, and it was good to see him again. 'Cause in the wind he's still alive. Oh, Fred Bear, walk with me down the trails again. Take me back where I belong. Oh, Fred Bear, I'm glad to have you at my side, my friend. And I'll join you in the big hunt before too long. Before too long. It was kind of dark, another misty dusk, and it came from a tangle down below. And I tried to remember everything it taught me so well. I had to decide which way to go. Was I alone or in a hunter's dream? 'Cause the moment of truth was here and now. I felt his touch, I felt his guiding hand. The buck was mine forevermore. Because of Fred Bear, I'll walk down these trails again. Take me back where I belong. Fred Bear, glad to have you at my side, my friend. And I'll join you in the big hunt before too long. outdoors. We got his spirit, we got his soul. He will guide our steps, he'll guide our arrows home. The restless spirit forever roams. Fred Bear, walk with me down the trails again. Take me back, back where I belong. Oh, Fred Bear, I'm glad to have you at my side, my friend. And I'll join you on the big hunt before too long. Oh, Fred Bear, walk with me down the trails again. Take me back, back where I belong. Oh, Fred Bear, I'm glad to have you at my side, my friend. And I'll join you in the big hunt before too long. In the wind, he's still alive. 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 In the wind, I hear Fred Bear. I hear you, Fred. Talk to me. Yeah. It's alright. Yeah. Let's go hunting, baby. Say, Fred, you go up that ridge, and I go down in the swamp. We'll get that buck.
If some of our teenage thrill seekers really want to go out and get a thrill, let them go up into the Northwest and tangle with a grizzly bear, a polar bear, and a brown bear. They'll get this that will cleanse the soul.